This is Chapter 1, Solving the Mystery of Reading. Okay, so right now I want you to get your book and get your chapter outline, because you will need both of those to follow along while I go over Chapter 1. Okay? This is Chapter 1 of Solving the Mystery of Reading. It's for Reading 111 at Lansing Community College. I'm on page 1 right now, and the purpose of this book, your Solving the Mystery of Reading book, is to help you gain strategies, and strategies are plans for success in relation to reading. And it explains the process, which is a series of actions, and also lets you know that this process is going to require active thinking on your part, and that just simply means that you're going to have to participate. So in Chapter 1, it talks about background knowledge being very important. And what is background knowledge? It's all of the stuff that you already know in your life, and you have gained background knowledge from just living, all of your experiences that have happened in your life, and from everything that you've ever read. So, how do you gain more background knowledge? You read more. So the more you read, too, the easier it becomes. Okay, so moving on down the page to symbols. You know, we humans are born with a talent for understanding language. This is true. You'll find that very young children, when they see the big yellow M, McDonald's sign, they recognize that that means McDonald's. Also, very young children can understand what a stop sign means. So that, in essence, is reading. Now, English letters are symbols that represent sounds. Okay, so step 1, we need to decode those symbols. Step 2, we need to comprehend what those symbols mean. That means understanding what you've read. All right, on page 2, one of the subtitles is Becoming a Reading Detective. And then there is the story called The Case of the Missing Necklace, which I'm not going to read, but I would like you to read it. So while you're reading that story, you'll see that the detective is gathering evidence, using resources, and then making deductions. Okay, so what is the evidence that that detective is using? Well, she's looking at footprints, tire tracks, and those kind of things. Okay, so that's evidence. The resources that she's using are the crime lab, the computer, asking people questions, and looking things up in books. Okay, those are the resources that she's using. And then she's making deductions, which are educated guesses. Okay, so did you get that? Deductions are educated guesses after you gather all kinds of information. And basically, that's what reading's all about, is there's evidence, you're going to use resources. Now, your resources are going to be different from a detective's, of course, because yours are going to be dictionaries, maybe computers, and maybe people too. So you can figure out what it is that you're reading if you don't understand. And on page 3, it notes that there are many kinds of reading. So you use different techniques depending on what you're reading. If you are reading the newspaper, then you can kind of go along at your leisure and flip through, and if you don't understand something, it kind of doesn't matter unless it's something you really need to know. But if you are reading something for work, of course, then you might have to understand it a little bit better. And of course, if you're reading something for school, you're going to have to understand that better. So you might need to take more time, take notes, gather evidence, use your resources, it's okay, and then make deductions. In your book, on page 3, there's a list of different kinds of things that you may read, everything from newspapers to magazines. And then it talks about fiction, which are made-up stories. Now the novel that we're going to read in this class, which is called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, that novel is fiction, which means it's made up. This textbook is nonfiction, which means the information in it is true. Okay? So again, on page 4, you have to decide what the purpose is of what you're reading. Because if it's for enjoyment, then of course you can just easily flip through. If it's for a school or a job, then you're going to have to take a little bit more care in figuring out what you're reading. Okay, on page 4, I think I'll step to this side of it. On page 4, it talks about a dictionary being your most important tool. And the reason being is because if there are words that you don't know or understand, then you can quickly look them up. I often have a hard copy of the dictionary on hand when I'm reading things that are difficult to read, but I know that nowadays many of you have smartphones and things like that, so you can use your phones, you can use computers. In your book, it says that electronic dictionaries aren't that good, or reliable, but I think nowadays, I forget when this book was written, but I think nowadays they're pretty reliable. So, just remember that your dictionary is going to be your most important tool for this class, and you need to get one. You will need to bring it to class every day. Okay. Next is, in every chapter there will be a reading. Okay, it's always called reading number 1 for chapter 1, reading number 2 for chapter 2. In this case, the title of reading number 1 is called Solving the Mystery of Using Your Textbook. I'm going to grab my textbook. Normally, I won't go through the reading with you. I won't go through the whole thing, but in this case, I think we will go through and just mention each section because that will help you understand how to use this book and where you will find certain things like maps that you'll need. So, in this reading, first there is a blue box. Well, it may not be blue in yours, but a shaded box called vocabulary. Okay, I just want to read you each word, and that's what I'll do for all of your readings. The first word is bold-faced. That means darkened. The second word is emphasize, and that means to show importance. Third word is resource. Those are something you use for help. Fourth word is assess. That means to test or judge value. The next word is challenge. That means something difficult. Next word is mastery, and that means in full command of a subject. And the last word is recommended, and that also means suggested. Okay, so through every reading in this book for each chapter, the vocabulary words will always be bold-faced. And what I like to do, and what I think you should do, is as you're reading the readings, highlight every bold-faced word. We're going to talk about this more in class because we will have worksheet type things to do with these vocabulary words, and they also will be on some of your quizzes. Okay, so, all right, the next part is chapter organization. Okay, the next part is chapter organization. Okay, I didn't write everything on the board, but if you look in your book, you'll see that chapter organization contains a table of contents, and then what is called challenge, mastery, going beyond, and recommended. We will talk about which exercises we're going to do during class because that's where we'll be doing the exercises in class. There's also a section called writing about what you've read, study strategies, just for fun, enhancing your thinking, organizing information, and a chapter review. Something I want to note because this is a question on one of your quizzes is where would you find the chapter review? Of course, at the end, because review would always mean at the end. Okay, on page 6, there is a section called Symbols in the Text. Those are, you'll see little boxes that say caution, or a box that says secrets to success or FYI. And what those are is, in the caution boxes, it tells you about possible confusing things, or something that might cause some problem for you. Not a big problem, just a little confusion maybe. In the secrets to success box, that's critical information that is going to help you get through this chapter. In the for your information box, these are hints that are not essential, maybe not so necessary, but they're still helpful ideas for you. Okay, and then it goes on to tell you that there are additional readings. Those are found in the very back of the book. There is an appendix. So right now I'm looking at page 7, where it says appendix. But where the appendix is located in the book is at the very back. So I'm flipping to the back, and there are maps and things, and that's called the appendix. And we will use it sometimes. Last but not least, on page 7, there is a subtitle called Doing Your Part. And so this book offers all kinds of strategies and practices and things that are going to help you learn things, but in the end, you are the most important person in this class. You're the one who has to do all of the work. All right, so when you come to class, we will then do all of the exercises in this chapter together in class, and I'll see you then. Your book. I'll hold this up. Is this how their book looks now? I don't have a new one. Are you recording? Okay. Hurry up.
Cut.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to say any of that stupid stuff about my book. I'm just going to hold it like this, and they won't ever know what's on the inside of it. Okay. This is horrible.
I think I'm going from the depths of depression
to the.
Okay.
Right.
I need to go into manic mode. No, manic.
Not manic.
Manic depressive? I need to go back into my depressed mode.
Go back to your depressive.
Okay.
Depression. Okay. I'm going to kill Jen, who is my camera girl right now.